I'm just about to start the off-grid chicken, turkey, poultry plucker. And let me just get this camera turned around here, get you shown sort of our parts list and explain how we came up with some of this stuff. Now, some things will be new. Not that you couldn't scavenge all these things, but in a time crunch, I'm gonna buy a few things that are relatively low cost, and by the time it's all said and done with, I'll come up with some kind of figure of what this cost me, not including my time. Because you can't really count your time on things like this. If you don't have the time to do it, then just go spend $800 and get you a turkey plucker. But if you've got the time to do it, don't worry about your time. If you've got the time to wait around, get the scrap supplies, just wait around and get them. But anyways, let me get you turned around so you can see what we're working with. But this is what we're working with. And this is why I'm calling it off-grid. So we're going to power the chicken plucker with a lawnmower. And this lawnmower is perfect because it's been scavenged, salvaged, repaired. It's been with us a long time. It's basically free. And you can find mowers like this for free. So I'm only going to include the cost to repair it because lots of times they're not going to work, which is about, I think, $25 for the carburetor kit. But anyways, and this is what we're working with. You go, oh, why do you have bolt cutters? Well, funny you ask. What size shaft is this? 1 inch. What size shaft is this? 1 inch. That's a 1 inch piece of round bar. And with just a little bit of polishing, it is exactly, I mean, it goes in here just a little too tight for what I'm doing. But anyway, so this is going to be the drive shaft of the turkey plucker. We got about a 2-inch pulley on the drive shaft of this because this engine used to be on a self-propelled deck. But it happens to come with a pulley already on it. So if you're going to do this, maybe look for one that's self-propelled because it might have the pulley you need. 12-inch pulley, 2-inch pulley. So there's some adjustments you can do to the throttle. I'm going to try to get this down to about 350, 400 RPMs. Should increase the torque of the gas engine by going to from small shaft to, or small pulley to a large pulley. And the large pulley will slow it down as well. Casters that my dad salvaged off of a table and gave me. Maybe. And a HDPE food grade barrel. This used to have Mountain Dew in it, so food grade. But anyways, without further ado, what I'm going to start by doing is measuring this barrel and cutting a section out of it. And once I get my circle around the barrel and it cut out, then I'm going to build the square tubing frame. And then the next thing will be probably mounting that to the frame, followed by mounting the bottom to the frame on my 12-inch pulley and my pillow block bearing. Oh, this is something else I bought new, pillow block bearing. Or that's what it's called. It's more like a flange. I think that's more like a flange bearing. Pillow blocks are, anyways, flange bearing to the frame, shaft to the pulley, shaft to the floor that spins in the plucker, and a little offshoot to mount the motor on, and this guy that I had to go get, the tensioner. Of course, I bought metal to build it out of. If you have scrap metal, even better. But I don't just have enough scrap metal. I keep all my trimmings and stuff, but I just don't have enough to put something together. You can, what some scrap yards do is when people scrap good usable steel that's still in good, pieces that wouldn't take too much to get it, workable or usable. Sometimes they sell it back to you at a little bit more than what they paid to buy it because it's slightly more profitable for them to do that than to pay to have it hauled off and recycled. But anyways, so there is the beginning of the parts list for the off-grid chicken plucker. want to show you something here. I have assisted Levi very little in most of these little welding projects I'm fixing to show you. He has made door knockers, coat racks, all kinds of paper towel holder, book holders or business card holders, all kinds of different stuff. But I went ahead and welded over the top of some of Levi's welds and tried to straighten up some of these. But he squared, you know, I kind of helped him square it and he tacked it. And guys, I just want to show you how square that, just throwing this together real quick with him welding. I mean, we're barely rocking by 1/4 of an inch on the feet. So that's pretty good. But anyways, this is going to be the basic frame. All right, it's pretty much a perfect fit. It's going to be bolted in there. Bottom's going to be spinning. Anyway, like I said, like and subscribe so you can see the whole build. Alright, so I know I talked about how I might use this pulley that's already on there. It's a little too close to the bottom of the engine. It's causing some fitting or mounting the engine issues. So I'm going to show you what I've got going on here that I'm going to try to make work. And the reason I'm going this direction, I could go others, but this was all locally available stuff. What I did was I picked up a longer bolt that goes in the end here. And you're probably asking, why don't I just take this off of the shaft of the engine? I've tried. I tried a long time ago extensively with a pulley puller. It's just really hard to get in here and actually push off of the shaft. I could screw this in there, put my pulley puller on here, but when I tried in the past, I bent the bolt. So I'm not doing that. So what I did was I bought this little 3/4 inch 3/8 ID 3/4 out OD collar, and it was a little bit large to go in this 3/4 inch pulley. So what I did was chucked this up in the drill, took it to a flap disc, and then polished it off with sandpaper, and now it's the right ID or OD to go inside the pulley. And what I'm going to try to do is put it in there, tighten it in here like so, get it snug, tighten it down, set my set screw, and theoretically this right here will be my new pulley. And if this required an extreme amount of torque, I would expect this to slip the way I'm doing it, but I don't think a turkey is going to cause enough torque to cause that to slip. Alright, so we're finally starting to get the shape of a chicken plucker, and here's our shaft. Come over here and look at this. Oh, now it's connected. Alright, so what I did was I put a little flange on here, pre-drilled a couple holes, and then heated this up with a torch because this is real unlevel with the ridge. Traced this out, and then once I had this hot, stuck it back down in there and pushed that ridge down so we could get a nice embedded fit in the HDPE plastic. But got my pulley on there. Now I'm just going to drop it down in the barrel, and we're going to see roughly how we're doing. If I can. They look like they'll pluck a chicken. It's not all the way down yet. Our floor's not bottoming out. We've got our gap so that feathers will work their way out, fall out the bottom. And now we just need to get our holes cut and our fingers put in here and a belt. Once we have a belt, we'll be able to put some spin to it and start plucking a turkey or a chicken. Probably start on chicken. Got some roosters. Huxton's already putting one in. All right, pull it. It's not in all the way till you pull it. Pull it as hard as you can. See that little notch? It's got to go in there. Pull it, Hux. Can you pull hard enough? It's got to be tight. This is a 3/4 inch hole, and I'll show you what I'm cutting the holes with. Works pretty good. All right, watch. Man, I put one of these in yesterday. It went in easier than that. It does take some force, but you got to realize if it didn't take some force, they would come out way too easy. You're gonna hurt your knuckles. Spit on it. Spit on it better than that. All right, now push it in there. Now try it. You could probably use some lard or something, some vegetable oil. All right, there's 2 fingers in there. But anyways, I got 150 of these, and this is what I'm using. This little cheap step bit off Amazon. I think I bought a 3-pack, and one of them is 3/4. And I'm just punching little 3/4 holes all the way through, and then pulling the little fingers through. All right, so I've tried a few different ways to get these things in there. It's pretty tough. You want it to be tight because you don't want them popping back out. But I've tried just spitting on it, and I've tried olive oil, and olive oil ends up getting up here where you gotta grab it and makes it that much harder for you to hold on to it. So a good pair of these rubber coated gloves gives you good friction to grab a hold of it. And barehanded works good, but you can only do a few before you start to rub a blister on your hand from the friction of the rubber. So this is how I'm doing it. I just grab it and twist it and kind of yank it real hard until it pops in. But you need a good pair of gloves to do this. Leather or rubber coated or something. And it takes quite a bit of force. If you're not violent with it, it takes a long time to get one in. So, like I said, still got to put my rubber fingers in the bottom, and I've got to, this motor mount flexes a little bit and causes the belt to kind of bounce back and forth. So I'm going to see how when I push on it, the belt gets loose. I'm going to pull this up so that the belt's as tight as possible and weld the brace in still. Still thinking about taking the lawnmower wheels and putting them on the back here so I can dolly this around. It's probably going to get cut down about 4 inches shorter to make it easier to get birds in and out. But so far, it's working out as planned.